Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap Session for Thursday, April the 21st, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder and head moderator of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, then drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is a subscription room, so if you're interested in checking us out, I'll put up my contact information in just 1 second. Before I do, please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, your own risk metrics. Okay, so if you're interested in checking us out, just send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. This is a group of retail traders getting together to trade and to do live trading and analysis during the course of the day. You will need a Skype account, so if you want to contact me through Skype, send me a contact request at Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Plus, if you like this video, there's over a year, 2 years of these pre-market sessions on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and do a search for Quantum Leap Futures. And if you like what I do, follow me on Twitter at Crazy2. Okay, so this morning we had some news. Right now we still have Draghi speaking. That's why I put in the room to caution, because he is speaking right now at ECB press conference. We had the Philly Fed manufacturing was expected. 8.1 came out at minus 1.6. Unemployment claims were expected at 265, came out at 247. So kind of a mixed, this is the lowest number since 1973 on unemployment claims, but kind of a mixed bag of news, and especially with Draghi speaking. At 9 Eastern, we have HPI month over month. 10 o'clock, we've got consumer confidence coming out of Europe. We've got the Bank of England Governor Carney speaking. This will be important because of the Brexit, or whatever they want to call it, the possible exit of Britain from the euro. And then we've got the CB leading index. 10 o'clock, 10:30, we've got natural gas storage, and then basically not much news after that. So yesterday, our main hypothesis was is this my template day? This is my template day. Yesterday, our main hypothesis was a open auction in range and then a move down towards the 91 area to find responsive buyers, and then a rotation up through value and a breakout of the prior day range at 2097.75 and a move in to test the 2100s with 2102.50 as our main target above. Extended targets was 2107.50 and then the rule of 10 at 2110. And basically hypothesis number one played out perfectly. And then we got this big sell-off at the 2105 and a quarter day. Now, yesterday I put in a template day from the 20th, 7/20 to 21st. This was the day that we are templating. And this is important because this shows very much how template days can help your trading with the structure. You can see in this day we opened outside of value, outside of range, but we also opened up near where we opened yesterday, came down into that 90 area, and then found responsive buyers and rotated up through, broke out the prior day high and went up and tested that 2100 and then failed off of the 2100 and had that late afternoon sell-off. So that's why we picked the template days. Okay, each morning I like to start my day with a basic chart. I'm using a candlestick chart with a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. what I'm doing here is I simply want to see where we are in the trend in the different time frames, and I'm looking for slope and separation, okay, and the strength of the trend. And you can see this monthly, we had the strong trend, and then near the end of the year they violated the trend, took it back, and then December we came back down and challenged it. Then in January and February we violated it, and then March and April we've taken it back, so we're getting this continuation, possibility of a continuation wave. Going down to the weekly, you can see we've had this parabolic move on the weekly. Price is paralleling the 9 very nicely. The trend is very much intact on the weekly right now. Going to the daily, same thing. We had the strong trend up. They came down, they challenged the trend, took it back, continuation, and we've got slope and separation to the upside. So the trend is up on the daily. Going to the intraday, same thing. We had strong move up. Yesterday in the Globex, they came back down, and then, I'm sorry, not yesterday, Monday, they came back down, and then we come back up, and we're getting continuation, good slope, good separation on the 4 hour. On the 1 hour, you can see that we've started to roll over. We've got a possible head and shoulder pattern here, but we are below the 9 and the 20 right now, and you can see we created a FUBAR Mr. Sneaky tech gap, and they rolled it over, and right now possibility of a start of a downward trend coming into the shorter time frames. On the 30-minute, kind of consolidating, but we are below the 9 and the 20, and currently trading at that 2097. Remember that our VPOC, our volume point of control, or the most traded price from yesterday, is at 2096. Going to the 15-minute, you can see we've got the start of a downward trend here. They tried to take it back and failed, and we're back below the 9 and the 20. I would expect us to come down towards the 2096 area. And then on the 5-minute, you can see that we've had basically consolidation in around that 2100. We got in the Globex, we got up as high as 2104 and as low as 94.75. Very tight range in the Globex. We basically have been in balance during the overnight session. Okay, so let's take a look at the big structure, and for those that are new in the room, I'm just going to give you some context here. So last quarter of 2015, we were in this balance area between October 7th through to December, the end of December, and we created this value area that ran from 2086.50 down to 2008, and we had this upper distribution, this Gaussian distribution up here, with a low volume, microcomposite low volume node separating a double distribution, and where the breakout would happen below value. And then in January we fell out of that value, and we tried to hold value here at the 78, 75, couldn't, gap down, and then we came into this balance down here, and we created balance down here for most of the start of 2016, and then we finally broke out of value, came up here, started accepting prices higher, and got back inside of this balance area here, and we've been chopping around in that balance. And once we got back above the 2016, the microcomposite LVN, we were saying we were targeting the 34, the 57, and then the 64 and a quarter, 63.50 I should say, which was the most traded price inside of this prior value, and just above the composite VPOC, which was 2061.50, which was the most traded price going all the way back to 2013, the beginning of 2013. And we said, if we get in here, we'll work our way back up here. They came up here, tried to hold value, couldn't, came back, and we created this, this distribution in around the 2040. Accepted that value once again, and then started working our way up, accepted value higher at 47.75, and then we gapped up. And then once we gapped up, our target was that 2086.50 value area high from that microcomposite going back to the last quarter of 2015. Then we gapped up again, got above the 2086.50, and our target now becomes the all-time adjusted high at 2100. And yesterday we broke out and we went up and tested the 2105.25, and then since then we've come back down and we're back in just below the 2100. Now we have no structure above us, above 2100. So basically we have to use unadjusted numbers from prior contracts to guide us there, and use fib extensions in order to determine where our possible targets are. So it's going to get tricky trading above the 2105 now, because we've got no volume profile, no market structure to guide us. We have to use shorter time frame structure, fib extensions, and former unadjusted levels, which we'll go through. So taking a look at last night, here's the overnight profile. We opened inside, basically inside of value, inside a range from yesterday's RTH session, chopped around, went down to the 94.75, and then we had nice impulse wave up and tested the 2104. At this point in time, I actually thought we'd make a new all-time high in the Globex, but they failed. I actually shorted the 2103.75 as I posted in the room, and you know, I was actually running long at the same time, because I was long from 96.25, and so I was actually, I had a good position because I had a nice profit on my long, and I got short too for the shorter time frame, but I was delta positive to the upside. I actually ended up closing out my long at 21.0175, and I held the short down into the 2098.50 area. So it's been a really decent night. So taking a look at our structure for today, we've got the overnight high up at 2104. We have our overnight low at 2094.75. Very balanced profile. We're holding value overnight. Inventory is pretty much neutral to net positive. Our composite our overnight Globex VPOC is 2099.50. Basically just above where we're trading right now. And that's about all the information we've got. There's a little LVN right here at 2102, but basically we've got a bell curve or Gaussian distribution with some strong price acceptance around that 99. So we don't need this anymore, so we'll take that down and open this up. All right, so right now, as it stands, we're going to be, we still have a half hour to go, but we're going to open up inside of value and inside of range. So I'm anticipating, hold on one second. I'm anticipating a pretty strong opening swing this morning. I expect that probability of both sides of the value area. Our value area high is at the 21 150. This will be a trade area for me here, and the value area low down at the 2093.50. Remember that 2093 area and 2094 had very strong buying coming in, and I'm anticipating that they are going to defend that area. So you know, you've got a wide range in here, and you've got a target here at 2096 and the overnight low at 2094.75. Remember that there's a 97% probability that you're going to take out the overnight high or the overnight low. As long as we stay inside of the value area, I'm anticipating coming down and taking out the naked epoch, taking out the overnight low, and testing this 2093. I'll be looking for a long off of the 2093 and a rotation up through value to test the 2100s, you know, from below, and test the upper value area and a trip through value. Targets to the downside, below 93.75, my main target is going to be down here at the 2090.75. Remember, this is actually where I got long yesterday. Too bad I didn't hold it longer, but that's trading. And then below that, we've got the range low at 89.50. And so now I can start looking at, I've got my 89.25 CHVN. So I'd be looking for them to bounce off of there somewhere between the 90.75 and the 89.25. If they don't hold the 89.25, look for them to come down. The next trade levels will be 20.8575 and below 20.8575. The daily ATR target right now, the 20-day ATR, average true range, is running 21.75. So if we can't hold the 85.75, look for them to come down and test this 82.25. The overnight high being 21.04, less the 20-day ATR at 21.75 gives you a daily ATR range target down to 82.25. And then below 82.25, you've got 80.50, and then the next big target is the 75.50, which is down here in the 3-day balance that we were before we had the breakout day in this, you know, this gap up. I'm not anticipating this move today. The structure and holding value overnight, my main hypothesis today is to chop around on the open, come down between the 93 and the 90 area, possibly 89.75, find responsive buyers down here, and then move our way back up, chop around the 2100, and then continue up into the 2100s and go make a new high by taking out the 21.0525. Our main target above value is 21.0750. We have a measured move on the 4-hour as a continuation wave at 21.1085 or 75. Remember, we still have not put in the rule of 10 when you come into a centennial number and break into it, especially on the first time like we are in an all-time high. We should get a move of at least 10 points and into the rule of 10. Then we have targets from the old structure at 1350. Our daily upside ATR target off of the overnight low at 2094.75 is up at 1650. And then we have measured move at 21.2625 and a little bit of resistance here at 21.21. So the main hypothesis is chop on the open, come down, take out the overnight low, test the value area low or dip just below it, find responsive buyers down here, rotate up, okay, through value, chop around the 2100, and then continue up through the range high at 2105 and a quarter, and making a new all-time high, and coming up and hitting some of our targets up here, 2107 and a quarter and 2110. My secondary hypothesis is we chop around on the open, take out the low, come up into between 2100 and 2105, chop around, fail, and then come down through and break through the low of the range from yesterday and come down into this 85 to 82 and a quarter area. So that's hypo number 2. Hypo number 3 is we have a neutral day yesterday. We broke the IB, the initial balance high, and the initial balance low. My secondary hypothesis is another day of price acceptance and chop, and testing into the 21s and testing into the 80s, but basically staying in this balance and accepting this balance and creating a stronger Gaussian distribution here in around this 2094, 2096 level. So that's my numbers and my hypothesis for the day. Taking a look at the Keltner. Keltner is very flat right now, which it should be since we've got balance. The Keltner center line is sitting at 2099, above 2099. A move to the upper Keltner channel takes us to that range high at 2105 and a quarter. And possibly a break and a Keltner upper line walk into the 2110.75 area. And then if we don't get back above the Keltner center line, a move down to the lower line will take us down into that 92 area and a test of the value area low and a takeout of the overnight low as well. Taking a quick look at gold. Gold has had a strong move overnight. Wrong gold chart. Remember, we were talking about this yesterday, that the composite VPOC shifted from the 1204 up to the 1235.30 area. So this composite VPOC goes all the way back to October 2008. So prices being accepted higher for gold, and last night we broke out of this balance area above the 2054.30 value area high of the microcomposite, and we're back into price discovery, and they're moving up. Currently trading just above this HVN at 1268.20. Resistance on gold is going to be 1276.80 here. If we get above that, look for them to go up into this 1283.30 area. I'm not expecting that. They made the strong move overnight. I'm anticipating that we're going to chop around in gold in around this 1268 area. If we get below the 1258.70, that's going to be your line in the sand. Look for them to move down. Your first target is the 1255 and the 54.80 value area high, and anything inside of that, a stronger move back towards the composite. I don't think we're going to get away from this composite magnet yet. Even with this breakout, they're going to they're going to break out, they're going to fail, they're going to come back and test. And what I want to do is just draw a profile here just before the breakout. You can see that just before the breakout, we accepted value higher here at 1255. So if they can't hold above the range, above this 1264.80, then I anticipate coming back towards this 1255. And if they can't hold that, a bigger move back towards the 1235.30. So that's what I'm looking at gold. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.